2024 was a roller coaster for online sellers across the board, and many of you have felt the pinch. Between a tighter economy and shifting consumer habits, it's been a year full of lessons. But as we enter 2025, it's time to adapt, evolve, and thrive in this new landscape. So today, we're talking about how consumer behavior is changing in 2025, why it's happening, and what you can do to stay ahead of the curve. For those who may be new here, my name is Starla, founder of the Handmade Alpha Academy for Etsy sellers and manager at erank.com, Etsy's most popular SEO tool. And as someone who spends way too much time studying consumer psychology, I want you to walk away from today's video feeling informed, optimistic, and ready to tackle 2025 with confidence. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. 2024 was tough. Inflation, supply chain issues, and shifts in consumer spending impacted nearly every e-commerce platform. In fact, a report from the National Retail Federation showed that more shoppers prioritized essential purchases over luxury or decorative items in 2024, which is a trend that we might see continue into 2025. But this doesn't mean that people aren't buying, it just means that they're being more intentional about what they spend their money on. So how do you pivot in a market where buyers are cautious? It all starts with understanding why people buy. Let's talk about one of my favorite case studies on perceived value, conducted by behavioral economist Dan Ariely. Outside of MIT, Ariely set up a table where he offered free cups of coffee to participants passing by, but with a twist. The condiments for the coffee, like milk, sugar, and spices, were presented in two different ways. In one setup, the condiments were displayed in fancy silver containers, and spices like orange peel and cloves were offered. A few days later, Ariely re-performed the experiment, but this time, the coffee, cream, and sugar were placed in plain styrofoam cups. The result? Participants reported that the coffee tasted significantly better when presented in the upscale containers, despite the fact that the coffee was the same in both setups. Even more interesting is that the participants didn't even use any of the more interesting condiments with their fancy coffee, like the orange peel and the cloves, meaning that all participants essentially had the exact same cup of coffee, sweetened in cream to their liking, but still, it was the same coffee. And this study highlights a key takeaway that every business should be taking into account when it comes to how they list their products. The way a product is presented can drastically influence how consumers perceive its value. For sellers, this reinforces the importance of investing in high-quality product photos and branding that communicates value. But what about pricing? Let's move to Ariely's energy drink study, which dives into how pricing can shape perceptions of effectiveness. In this experiment, participants were given an energy drink that claimed to boost mental performance. Half of the participants received the drink at full price, while the other half got it at a discounted rate. When asked to perform mental tasks, the group that paid full price performed significantly better than those who bought the discounted version. But why? How could the exact same drink result in different levels of motivation? These individuals associated the higher price with higher quality, which influenced their expectations and ultimately their performance. So how does this apply to sellers? Remember, pricing isn't just about covering costs. Setting prices too low might signal to buyers that your product is of lesser quality. Instead, aim for pricing that reflects the value of what you're providing, whether it's through handmade craftsmanship, unique designs, or top-notch materials. As you evaluate your pricing strategy for 2025, remember, it's not just about numbers. It's about the message those numbers send to your customers. And on competitive platforms like Etsy, competing in low prices isn't always the best path. Now more than ever, shoppers in 2025 want to feel like their purchases matter, especially in a challenging economy. They're looking for value beyond the price tag, and storytelling is an amazing tool that can help increase the value of your product without changing the item itself. For example, last Christmas, I bought this cardinal sun catcher for my husband's grandmother. The seller was Ukrainian and included a small business card with the Ukrainian flag and a bit about their story. When I gifted this item to Mark's grandma, I didn't just say, "Here's your sun catcher." I said, "This sun catcher was handmade by a Ukrainian seller. We had it shipped all the way to the US for you." Now, for those of you who live outside of the US, this probably sounds like such a silly thing, but keep in mind that most US citizens don't even have passports because our country is just so large. Painted with this perspective, it stands to reason that anything coming outside of the US is naturally interesting because it contains a story. And so few sellers take advantage of the story that their products can tell. Sure, many items are bought out of necessity. We need items like toilet paper and trash bags, which seem to leave little room for storytelling. But every item has a unique opportunity to tell a story, and when people know this story, they aren't just buying the item. They're buying the story that comes with it. As a seller, you can use storytelling to communicate value in your own shop by adding a section in your product descriptions that explains the story behind your item. For example, if you sell handmade candles, talk about the soothing rituals they're designed for, the quality of your materials, or how they're perfect for creating cozy winter evenings. Additionally, using visual platforms like Instagram to share your behind-the-scenes footage of your process can help to connect shoppers to the overarching why behind your brand. By showing the care and intention that goes into your work, you can build trust and emotional connection with those who are most interested in buying. As I mentioned previously, the current economic climate has taken a huge toll on many consumers. And yes, many buyers will hesitate if your price doesn't align with their current budget. But instead of slashing prices, consider offering value-driven solutions. For example, creating gift sets or value bundles can help buyers to feel like they're getting more for their money. You could easily do this by pairing 3 popular items from your shop as a bundle, such as a pair of earrings, a necklace, and a bracelet, and offer a slight discount for the set. One of the biggest takeaways from 2024 is that we can't rely on Etsy alone to drive traffic. And I'm saying this as a manager at Etsy's largest SEO company. It's all about diversifying your traffic and creating multiple traffic funnels. Within my own community, the sellers who consistently marketed on social media fared better in 2024 because they weren't putting all their eggs in one basket. Platforms like Instagram or Pinterest are some of my favorites when it comes to driving traffic. Pinterest in particular is fantastic for evergreen content that can keep driving clicks long after the post goes live. And with the upcoming potential ban of TikTok in the US, Instagram will likely see a huge spike in new users who are looking for a new place to call home. And if you need help taking advantage of this traffic and want to grow your Instagram business account in the meantime, consider grabbing my free 30-day Instagram growth kit up here and down below. In recent years, sustainability is becoming increasingly important to buyers. A Nielsen IQ report showed that 78% of global consumers are willing to change their purchasing habits to reduce environmental impact. Hell yeah! So if you offer eco-friendly products, now is the time to showcase those benefits. I see so many sellers who already offer these eco-friendly solutions, but they don't mention these things anywhere in their listings. Guys, shout these benefits from the rooftops. Add terms like sustainable and eco-conscious to your listing titles and tags. Dedicate a listing photo to your eco-friendly promise, or even showcase eco-friendly packaging that you utilize. And if sustainable solutions aren't something that you already offer, consider introducing new products made with environmentally friendly materials, or even eco-friendly packaging that cuts out materials like plastic. Obviously, when it comes to e-commerce, being strategic about your product launches and listings is an important part of driving traffic, no matter what you sell. And each year in January, I do the hard part of planning a 12-month schedule for you, for free. This free PDF contains a printable set of 2025 marketing calendars to help you plan ahead for holidays and popular seasons. Plus, each month includes personal tips and pointers from me to help you stay ahead of the competition. You can grab my free 2025 calendars up here or in the link down below. 2025 is a year of opportunity. The economy may still be finding its footing, but with careful planning, smart marketing, and a focus on your customers, you have every chance to thrive. Until next time, Pookie.